Welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Bobby Trippett.
And I'm Michael Tanner.
And today we're talking about 1975's The Black Gestapo.
Okay, honky, you can come out now.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Dad, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
What is it, knocker? I don't know.
Spooky got no real
Rhythm?
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
How the hell would women live? I'm horny. And maybe Daddy wouldn't have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame. It's for jacking off.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get creamed.
So guys, we're here finally doing The Black Gestapo, which has been kind of a running joke there on the Patreon poll. It's been in how many of them now? About 5?
It feels that way. I'm not sure how many exactly, but more than it should have been.
It's been my dream for a very long time.
And it's been on Tanner's wish list since he sent me a list of movies, and finally today we are recording The Black Gestapo.
A movie near and dear to Tanner's heart.
Yeah, Tanner, why this movie?
Well, you know, in some ways, I lived this movie.
Whoa.
That is terrifying. You care
I
to
don't want to
elaborate?
get into it,
Okay.
but
All right, well, good night, everybody.
Yeah.
you know,
We're learning new stuff about Tanner every week.
This is...
it's
wow.
it's rough out there, and I feel like this motion picture really captured a lot of what I experienced growing up in the mean streets of Montana.
Wow. And
Yeah.
not just the outfits.
I mean, dirt roads, the dirt roads of Montana. I mean, except for, you know, the black part and except for the Gestapo part, but a very, very similar kind of background I experienced.
We've often said that Tanner is somewhere in between Black and Gestapo.
We're learning all sorts of new things about
This
you,
is going to
Tanner.
be a special episode of The Grindbin.
I think so.
There's nothing I love more than sitting around with two of my white friends talking about the Black Gestapo.
So this movie, guys, directed... Well, here's... You know what, Tanner, to make you feel a little bit better, this movie was written and directed by a Grindbin all-star. And Tanner, this is a really special episode for you. The director of this movie, Lee Frost, is the director of 2 Grindbin movies. This is his third. The first being Police Women, and the second being your first episode, The Thing with Two Heads.
My God, it's like a homecoming. And I know my birthday isn't for a while, but this feels like a birthday present, Grindbin listeners.
And the funny thing is, you've wanted to do this movie for so long, yet you never know you didn't know he directed.
I did not. Like, I even looked at his IMDb page, and somehow I missed that. But now, in hindsight, I was actually... Oh, we can get to it, but there's actually a scene in this movie where I'm like, that looks exactly like where they filmed Thing with Two Heads. But
It probably was.
It probably was. Probably right outside his house, across the street.
I definitely think so. There's a lot of this movie has a lot of like locations pending, is what I think they wrote in the script. Because we're gonna get into it. There's very creative ways they get around having to set up another camera shot. But he also wrote Police Women and The Thing with Two Heads, and you can hear all about Lee Frost on either of those episodes. He also did quite a few other exploitation films, including The Pickup, Chain Gang Women, Love Camp 7, and Dixie Dynamite. And guys, he's in this movie.
Wow.
He plays the character of Vincent.
Huh.
So, the leader of the white mob in this movie is also the director and writer.
Huh, weird. I never would have suspected that the writer and director of this motion picture was a white guy.
But his writing partner on this movie, guys, also... Grindbin All-Star.
A white guy.
Yep, another white guy, Wes Bishop. He wrote both of Police Women and The Thing with Two Heads with Lee Frost, and he also wrote in this movie. And guess what, guys? He appears in it as well as the character of Ernest. Him and Lee Frost both appear in this movie as white mobsters, and they seem to be throwing around the N-word quite a bit. So
I assume they made this movie just so they could, like Tarantino does.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the cast of this movie, guys: Rod Perry, who plays General Ahmed. 12 credits only. I was very surprised by that, but he appears in 1974 as the Black Godfather, and probably what he's most well known for was he was on every episode of the show SWAT from 1975 till 1976, and he appeared in the movie adaptation in 2005. He reprised his character in that movie.
Really?
But other than that, after SWAT, he just did like a few TV appearances, that cameo in the movie SWAT in 2005, and that's it. So, not much else for Rod. Charles Robinson, though, who plays Colonel Koja, 118 credits, and he's probably most well known for his role on Night Court as Mac Robinson. I believe he's in every episode. There's 180 episodes of that show he's on.
Now, that's the same character he plays here, right?
Yeah.
What a crooked path our lives take us, right?
Really?
But, guys, did you know he's also a Grindbin All-Star?
Jesus Christ.
He was in Sugar Hill.
Really?
Yes, he made that movie 1 year before this, and he plays the character of Fabulous in that movie.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That is
And
fabulous.
I don't think we talked about him on the Sugar Hill episode, but yes.
I mean, we brought up the character, but we didn't talk about who was playing him.
No, but Charles Robinson, Grindbin All-Star. He also appeared uncredited in Apocalypse Now.
As Fabulous.
Yes. He appeared in the TV movie Project Alf, if anybody's ever seen that, from 1996, when they made a TV movie about Alf that carried on his story from the TV show. He appeared in Home Improvement. He's on the show Mom right now. He's on all sorts of stuff in TV. So Charles Robinson's still acting and still around. Angela Brent, who plays Marcia, I was surprised by this. This is her only movie.
That is surprising. Any particular reason that you found?
No, it's just the only thing she has listed, so I don't know if she acted under a different name or what it was, but the character of Marcia, the only reason I wrote it down is because I thought she was really good in this movie, and she did nothing else. Then, guys, we have two Grindbin All-Stars who are just prolific as, I would say, Grindbin character actor All-Stars. They just appear randomly in small roles throughout so many movies of this podcast. We'll start with Grindbin All-Star Ushi DeGuard from Super Vixens, Super Chick, The Roommates, and Chesty Anderson, U.S. Navy.
Wow.
If you might remember Ushi DeGuard in Super Vixens as the farmer's wife.
Okay.
And most of her other roles are in that same vein because she's just in about a million pornos.
Million pornos.
Yep, that IMDb goes on for a long time.
Every porno.
And then Phil Hoover, guys. Grindbin All-Star. Tanner, he appeared in The Thing with Two Heads. He was in Police Women. In Police Women, he played the boyfriend of the old lady mobster. Which, by the way, guys, I don't know if you noticed this, but when I was watching this, but I'm not sure. Have you guys seen Police Women?
No.
Okay. If you watch Police Women, you'd be very familiar with this movie because I think this is Lee Frost's house because it's the same pool party. It's the same house. And I kept looking at it the whole time I'm watching going, I've seen that set before. And then sure enough, I'm like, oh yeah, Police Women. He was also in Super Chick and, guys, Chesty Anderson, U.S. Navy.
That's amazing. Mike, I have another one for you.
Oh, go ahead, Bobby.
Chuck Wells, who plays a trooper in this movie, very small role, was the best boy key grip on 1988's Bulletproof.
Oh my God!
Everything is connected.
And I thought it was going to somehow be some sort of Friday the 13th reference. But,
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Not
I was
Friday the 13th,
expecting a Nightmare on Elm Street reference for the Fred bin.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, hold on. He was also the best boy on New Year's Evil.
Oh, holy shit. So he's the best boy, for sure.
The best.
Anybody who doesn't know film credits always laughs when they see best boy. It's actually a very, very important part of the set. So
you want to explain what a best boy does, Mike?
Well, the best boy is the assistant chief to the electrician of a movie crew. He is basically the guy in charge of making sure that everything is plugged in, running properly, and nobody gets killed by the giant transformers that you have to run everything through. So.
That does require the best boy.
Little known fact, back during the era of the Lumiere brothers, it actually was just an orphan boy that they just bought from an orphanage because the mortality rate was so high because they had to handle that, ungrounded electricity so often. It was kind of an honorific, but a very deadly position. Kind of like a drummer boy in the Civil War.
So that's why they called it like, no, you're the best boy. You know, we need you. You're the whole movie. Go plug that in.
Someday will I have a papa? You're like, yes, of course, best boy.
It will be the
Someday.
best boy.
No, that's always when people laugh. I go, that's not a laughing matter. If you get cast as the best boy, you're doing well for yourself, man.
Yeah, Mike, seeing as you got the thing wrong and said that I was the Friday the 13th expert, I do want to point out that Chuck Wells also played a deputy in Friday the 13th 5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Perfect. The respectable horror series from the 80s, if you
Damn
ask
right.
me.
Wait, which one is 5?
That's the one. That. It's the one with the cosplayer. It's the one where the paramedic dresses up as Jason.
Oh, yeah, that's the one that they always played on USA Up All Night.
And it's underrated.
Yeah, I think that's actually the one directed by Grindbin All-Star, director of Savage Streets.
It is, actually, yeah. And it's considered the sleaziest one in the series.
Well, from the director of Savage Streets, yeah, sure.
Expect no less.
So, guys, before we get into it, let's take a listen to the trailer.
In 1975, the People's Army of Watts was organized to rid the community of drugs, prostitution, and crime. The project was a total wipeout.
We can't stop the gangsters from working here. We can at least protect our people from their brutality.
Protection is one thing, but an all-out war is something else.
Oh, come on now.
I know you, Koja.
I only want them for protection.
They had to become the Black Gestapo, the new master race.
You shot one of my soldiers. You see, we got a new deal now. You shoot one of my soldiers, then I shoot one of your guerrillas. I mean, they made a call on us and we got to answer, right? This is now my army and we're at war.
The Black Gestapo. When they declare war, it's all out. All the way out.
We made a deal! The deal was I wouldn't shoot your white ass off.
And if they touch a brother's woman...
Okay, rape me. Go ahead and rape me, honky bastard. This is really your style, isn't it? I bet this is about the only way you can get laid.
That really cuts it.
You have done well. The white community will feel our power. Okay, honky. You can come out now.
The Black Gestapo. Victory through violence and vengeance for the new master race.
So, guys, the movie starts now. I watched this movie on YouTube. It's there in its entirety, I believe so.
Yeah.
But the first scene of this movie, I don't know if I'm missing anything. It's just a car pulling up. There's no credits at the very beginning or anything. It's just a car pulling up to an apartment. I'm like, well, I'm either missing something or this is how it starts.
We join our movie already in progress.
I kind of like those like drive-in movies where they do that. It's like, you better hey, shut the hell up, the movie started. Like, there's no like intro or anything. It's just like, boom, let's go.
There's no time for fuck around. Sit your ass down, Whitey.
This car with a bunch of white mobsters in suits pulls up to a small apartment, and they walk in the front door, and then they basically go up to this guy sitting on his bed. They go into the same room about 90 times in this movie, by the way. This is also where the hooker they keep visiting, the poor hooker in this movie. I gotta pull it up, but her credit in this movie is absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that.
Her credit in this movie, the poor hooker who I feel so bad for, her name is White Whore.
Jesus.
They were not messing around.
No, and unfortunately, it's played by the actress Donna Young, who this was her second to last movie, the last being Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS, which she appeared in uncredited. So, yeah, I think she was done.
I really like these mobsters because they look like... they don't look like Italian mobsters. They look like the kind of guys who hung out with Elvis. They're like Memphis Mafia.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, or just Lee Frost's friends.
Or Lee Frost in disguise.
Yeah, or Lee Frost. Well, one of the writers of this in this part. So these guys, yeah, they basically walk into this apartment, and they're like, "Hey, you owe us money for drugs."
Yeah, he goes, "Hey, you guys ever hear of knocking?" And they go, "Well, you ever hear of paying?"
Hey.
I thought it might have been for numbers racket, not for drugs, but I could be wrong on that.
Well, these guys, we always say this shit goes straight to the top. They are the top. Everything in this town, everything in L.A. and Watts runs through these guys.
They are where the shit goes straight to.
Because they're like, at one point they're like, how's the drugs doing? How's the bookie business doing? How's the racketeering doing? How's everything else? They got everything, right? So for some reason, he owes them money for some reason. Tanner, you think it's because of some sort of racketeering or something?
Yeah.
Gambling, okay.
Gotta be.
Well, he doesn't have it. And they go, well, that's too bad. You don't have the money and you can't watch TV anymore. And he goes, well, why can't I watch TV anymore?
They break his TV. Baller move, guys. Baller move.
But, here's the thing is, like, overall in this scene, they are kind of polite.
They are very polite.
Yeah. They go, hello. Oh, sorry, we didn't knock. Well, you can't watch TV anymore. And they just knock it over. And they don't beat them up or anything. They're just like, okay, well, we'll see you next time. But if next time you're going to have to get another TV or we're going to break that too.
Matter of fact, they have a moment of politeness later in the film that's a favorite part of this movie for me, so we'll get to that later.
So the next thing we see is, we get introduced to, like, now who wants to actually explain what these soldiers are?
All right, so we cut to the People's Liberation Army, who, and General, what's his name? Ahmed? General Ahmed. So they are in khakis and red berets.
They're dressed as the Hell Squad.
Yep. And the People's Liberation Army is the stand-in for the Black Panthers, but interpreted through the lens of a white writer and director trying to make a kind of safe. They're absolutely non-threatening in their demeanor. They are militaristic. They apparently have a deal with the mayor of Los Angeles where they receive a budget to help patrol and look over the neighborhood of Watts.
As his speech says, it's blacks helping blacks with white money.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's established later that they get $10,000 a week for the entire town
to do whatever they need to do.
Includes
food,
feeding everybody,
services.
safety. Yeah. So it's not
and
enough.
as we know from the 16 episode, $10,000 in 1975 money is literally $10 billion in today's money.
That's true. Yeah. So he's giving a speech, right? And he's saying
on the back of a truck,
saying no one's going to help you. This is by ourselves for ourselves.
While he's giving this speech, there's like kind of a montage of black business owners getting shaken down by the white mobsters. Well, I wrote black business owners, but there's only one guy. We just keep showing the same one store throughout the whole movie, and it's just like kind of how we only have one white prostitute, and we only have one guy who owns a business. We just keep going back to this poor guy. He's never got the money.
I feel so bad for that guy.
No, because they show... Actually, this is the one part where he does have the money. They show up and he pays them, but for the rest of the movie, they keep coming back. He's like, I don't know, man. I already gave it to you. And so General Ahmed says they need to band together, right?
Yeah, because the city is sort of under the boot of the dope pushers and the gambling operations and all these other horrible things that the white man is doing. And we must stand together now.
And it should be established at this point that it's like, he's not... There is a part where General Ahmed, like, he's a good man, and that he says, like, we're not going to fight, like, the cops or anything like that. We need their help. Like, he's not, like... they're going to take up arms and revolt or anything. He's the guy who's like, we're getting a chance to take back our neighborhood and help ourselves.
I mean, really, what this comes down to, Mike, is that this movie is about Professor X and Magneto. It's Black X-Men is what we're dealing with here.
Hugo Boss designed Magneto's outfit, or?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that makes sense. So then we go to, guys, here's how we want to go. From this rousing speech of how we're going to, like, take back our town and take care of each other to footage from Triumph of the Will.
Yeah. We get some good old-fashioned German goose-stepping.
Yeah, good old-fashioned Lenny Riefenstahl.
So, but during General Ahmed's speech, we're getting shots of his right-hand man, Colonel Koja, who is looking very displeased. And so we go from Colonel Koja looking kind of upset at the end of the general speech straight into the goose stabbing.
Yeah. We go straight to Hitler.
Yeah, this is sort of a cinematic version of Godwin's Law, where everything eventually gets back to Hitler. Like, he's just explaining we all got to stand together, we got to take care of ourselves, it's hard out here, we need to do things, and then the movie goes, this is just like the Nazis.
Yeah, can you imagine Lee screening this? We're talking, again, guys, we're talking about a white man making a movie about black people trying to band together and take back their neighborhood, and in the first 5 minutes he cuts to Nazis and goes, it's just like that.
God, Ralph Bakshi must have been like, damn it, why didn't I think of this?
I was going to say, like I mentioned, I had seen this movie a very long time ago, and I think I had retconned a lot of it in my head to make more sense, because you're right, it seems like a weird juxtaposition of General Ahmed saying how they're going to watch out for their neighborhood and take care of themselves and make things better. To equate that with Nazism is such a weird misstep.
Yeah,
and it's so out of place.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet, and we never get there because
not really. No,
honestly, I think this movie was made simply because he wanted to make a blaxploitation movie, and someone gave him a bunch of old World War II movie costumes for Nazis. He's like, well, I got all these SS uniforms. I want to make another blaxploitation. Black Gestapo. It writes itself, but it didn't really write itself all that well.
No.
I gotta tell you, though, conceptually, that is an eye grabber.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, just as a concept. All right, let me pitch a movie to you. Black Nazis. You're like, holy shit.
Well, I don't know if either of you have ever read Kurt Vonnegut's Mother Night.
No, I haven't read that one. No.
There's a character in it called the Black Fuhrer of Harlem, who has a backstory where he was a black Nazi. It just he turned Nazism into, instead of being pro-Aryan, being pro-black. And in the movie, he is in full. He's actually the driver for the actual Nazis in the movie, which is weird. But he's in full SS uniform, and it is a striking image.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's in the original. That's in the original Vonnegut novel, and it's in the movie version with Nick Nolte. So yeah, it is a very great image or a great concept to go with. This movie is fun.
Yeah, I just feel like he screens it, and at the beginning of this, they're just like, all right, Lee, well, if anybody has questions, we're referring them to you. So our hands are clean on this one. So we cut from that Triumph of the Will footage to the People's Army Detoxification Unit number 3, right? So it's basically the People's Liberation Army are... they run local hospitals around Watts, apparently, and there's a bunch of people suffering in cots in a crowded medical facility in here, and a doctor here is trying to help them, and basically there are all these people that have overdosed on drugs that are being sold by the mobsters to the town. And the general shows up, and he's checking on his people and seeing how they're doing. And the doctor says, hey, it's not good, man. There's a bunch of overdoses. And then we get her introduced to Marcia, who's the nurse, who's the general's girlfriend. She says she digs what he's doing, and it's just, just kind of like setting the scene, I guess, in this one.
Yeah, he laments at one point that this whole town's going to end up in emergency.
Yeah, so we're setting up the scene, and then it's kind of weird, though, at the end of it, where the doctor just looks at the general. He's like, look, General, I know you've had a real rough time lately, and there's a lot you have to worry about, so why don't you just go home, take some Valium, and have a good night, huh?
And he says to that, I don't need a crutch. He's like, don't push drugs on me, pal. The Black Gestapo is also straight edge.
Yeah. So we go to People's Food Bank, Area 2, guys loading a bunch of truck full of food, but then we immediately cut to the white gangsters. So we cut to these guys, these two boys, these good old boys, Vito and Ernie. And it's really, really disturbing to know that Ernie is one of the guys who wrote this movie.
Very disturbing indeed.
Liberal use of the N-word.
He's really taking it for a walk.
Yeah. So Vito and Ernie, they're hanging out outside. We don't really know why, but then they see the nurse walking out from the hospital, Marcia, and they're like, oh, well, let's go talk to this lady. And, like you do, I guess, in 1975, you go hit on a woman by saying,
Where you going, nurse? You feeling lonely? How about getting laid? Looking for a little extra bread, what's that? Hey, Vito, you ain't getting through. Well, look, honey, all you gotta do is talk deal, right, baby? How about $5 for a blowjob? Okay. For $10 is top for head. I never go more than $10 for blackhead. Blackhead. Sounds like some kind of pimple. Now look here, honey. I know you got a price. And I know I've got the tariff in my pocket right now. So why don't you just slow up for a minute, honey? Okay. I suppose you're a real class chick.
And she's not having it, of course, and she slaps him in the face.
And to which he backhands.
Yeah.
And then, so now shit's on, and some of the People's Liberation Army get involved. And there's a big fight scene in which these two white dudes make short work of everybody.
Yeah, and one of them does a pretty wicked, spine breaker on one dude.
He just banes this poor guy.
We go to the colonel's telling the general about the damage from the attack, and they say, look, the nurse is going to be fine, Marcia's fine, but the guy has a ruptured spleen. He's going to live, though. And the colonel tells the general, he's like, look, man, we can't keep letting this happen. We need to fight back. And the general's like, that's just not possible, man. We want to be peaceful. We can't be violent. We'll fight back when we need to, but we can't go start a war over this stuff. These mobsters run the whole town. And the colonel basically convinces him to say, look, just let me get a few guys, and we'll go take care of these mobsters. And the general says, okay, I'll give you 6 men. That's really interesting with what happens later in this movie, because it seems to be there's more 100 men.
He starts recruiting on his own.
Yeah, we get to that. There's a scene where they set it up.
A lot of guys will be dispatched very quickly, and I was just doing a running count. I'm like, all right, we're running low now. The next thing we do is we go to the white mobster's place, right, who's the director, Lee Frost, is here. And he is, he really likes dogs.
God, when we meet him, he's in a blue romper.
Yeah.
And he's carrying a little dog.
Yeah, he's really chewing up the scenery in this movie. He's carrying around this dog with a ponytail on top of its head, like how Chris Jericho used to. And he's just petting this dog, and he's going hey, how the drugs doing? And they're like, yeah, it's doing all right. And how's the betting going? They're like, it's okay. And he's like, all right, well, the new rule is if they don't have enough to cover the bets, make a quota, and if they don't meet it, they owe us that money. And they're like, okay. So, okay, as I can tell, they only have one store owner they collect money from and one prostitute they collect money from.
Yeah, there's one prostitute in the whole city.
No wonder she's so tired.
She's very busy, and she's tired.
She never leaves the bed. Every time we see her in this movie, she's in the same room under the same set of covers.
Oh, true. They just banged out her scenes in an afternoon. Pardon my language there.
And so he's like, how's our one hooker doing? And her pimp. And they're like, yeah, we didn't get enough money last week. And he's like, all right, well, somebody go find him. And you know what? Go find the pimp, turn him upside down, and see what falls out of his pockets.
It's a good line.
So then Vito and Ernie go to visit the one prostitute they have.
I believe we should be accurate and use her name from the credits.
I disagree.
Oh, okay, Tanner. Go ahead.
No, thank you. I think you should, Mike.
All right, so Vito, this is what I do like, though, is that Vito comes in. Guys, he gets a little PSA in this movie, right? Because he sees that the prostitute's smoking in the bed, and he goes, hey, didn't you hear that the Surgeon General says smoking's bad for your health?
And he makes her put it out.
Yeah, she puts it out, and then he chucks the ashtray, and he goes, all right, where's the money? And she's like, I don't have any money. It's all Willie's fault. He immediately just pulls off the covers, which this is really disturbing, because that every time anybody comes to see this prostitute, they always pull the covers off her. And she's naked underneath, and they comment on her body.
Yeah, it's really uncomfortable.
The nudity quota for this movie, but in the most inopportune, time. Because it's always really depressing.
It's kind of like our podcast.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nudity that comes at inopportune times, and it's ultimately depressing.
So then Vito pulls off the covers. Yeah, that's great. He's like, all right, where's the buddy? Where you been holding out? And she's like, all right, well, Willie keeps the books, but I don't know where he is. And then, Vito gets that information out.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot how...
Is this where he, dribbles her like a basketball?
Yes, he smashes her head against the wall repeatedly.
Dribbles her head like a basketball.
Yeah. It is hard to watch.
He gets the information out, by the way. She gives up where Willie is, and apparently he's at some club. And I was like...
Yeah, the club's called the Hi-Hat.
Okay, did you immediately think it's Dolomite's club? Because I was like, look, they're both in L.A.
Man, what a crossover. If only Dolomite had showed up and put an end to this.
Oh, hell yeah. Rudy Ray Moore would have fit perfectly in this movie.
He would have beat up every single character in this movie.
To a man. Literally every character.
I think Dolomite was after this movie.
I think Dolomite was 77.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do you think D'Urville Martin saw this movie and he's like, man, fuck this shit?
That bad D'Urville Martin?
Yeah, he just went up to Rudy Ray Moore. He's like, man, I just saw this movie, this Black Gestapo movie. It fucking sucks. Man, we're going to make it right.
That's all it was ever about.
And so then they go to the club. It's not Dolomite's club, unfortunately. It's just some bar. And they don't see Willie yet. And you know what? This really started to bug me. I'm like, I really want to meet Willie. I really do. Will we ever meet him, guys?
Wait, don't we?
Do we?
I feel like we do.
No.
I feel like we don't. I thought we did.
Okay, if you're referring to that one guy later, I don't think that's Willie, man. But we'll go on. You tell me where you see Willie, because I kept looking for him. I kept writing my notes throughout the whole movie. Where's Willie at?
Well, we already established where we see Willie. Inopportune times, and it's depressing.
Oh, okay. So they're at the club, Vito and Ernie, right? And then they sit down, they're like, hey, do you know, this is the way they go. They go up to the bartender, they sit down, they go, yeah, do you know where Willie is? And he goes, yeah, he ain't here. And so they go, well, shit, we got to film a scene. And they just kind of look around, they go, hey, isn't that Nurse from the start of the movie? And they go, yeah, let's just follow her to the parking lot. And then we zoom into a clock. And then the Colonel's recruiting some guy in a shed, right? So this is like where he's getting together his 6 guys to go take out. He's getting his Magnificent 7 together, and they're going to go take out the white mobsters.
Yeah, but this guy is, because he's not a member of the People's Liberation Army. He is a drug dealer, but independent, I guess. So because
he's hesitant to join.
Yeah. So he's like, well, I think he's supposed to be the hard dude who's a criminal, but isn't in with the mob. So because he becomes Koja's number 2, right?
I mean, at one point I just started calling him Gestapo guy because I don't know if they ever said his name. So he's meeting with Gestapo guy who used to be a drug dealer, or who is a drug dealer at this point, and he's like, hey, yeah, do you finally want to team up? We're going to take out the mobsters. He's like, all right, sounds good. And so then Vito and Ernie, they're following the nurse out to her car, following Marcia to her car, and then, they attack her in a parking lot, and they drive off with her in the car. As if it wasn't bad before, we got to watch Vito rape a woman in a car. And the writer of this movie sits in the back seat watching motionless.
Yeesh.
And this is like, this is about 20 minutes in, I'm like, Tanner?
What are we doing? She tries to do the same thing that we saw in Mind Trap.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
Go ahead and rape me, you honking bastard. This is really your style, isn't it? I bet this is about the only way you can get laid. Is he gonna help you get it up?
So then the soldiers are out marching with the Colonel, right? So the People's Liberation Army. He's got his 6 guys, and they go to Marcia's house, and the Colonel comes in, and she's watching TV with an ice bag on her face. She's been beat up really bad. And the Colonel bends down. He turns off the TV, he bends down, and he just says, all I want to know is who.
And she says, does it make a difference?
Yeah, you're never going to be able to stop him. He says, well, I want to try. And she says, all right, well, one of them was Vito, the big one. And I don't know if I heard this correctly, but he goes, the Colonel says, that's the way I like them, big?
Sure.
Did he say that?
I don't remember
I don't
that. But,
I was like, huh.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I do think I clocked that weird line.
Vito. The big one.
That's the way I like 'em. Big.
But okay, so the soldiers sneak into Vito's house.
Now
right?
we're getting somewhere. This is where the movie got good for me. I was like, what? I was going Tanner until now.
Okay, and this is the thing, Bobby. You mentioned Hell Squad earlier. There's a tub in this movie as well.
Yeah, and we get straight Hell Squad with it.
Yeah, will all the guys get in the same tub?
They're gonna try,
and then talk about who's gonna answer the phone.
So what happens is it's the middle of the night, and there's like a rope ladder that comes down the side of the house, and the Hell Squad starts to rappel down the side.
Yeah, and Vito's in the bathroom. He's brushing his teeth, and he's taking a bath.
He's gonna have some me time.
Yeah, I do like it. It is a shower as well, but he's taking the bath. He's had a long day, and so that he's sitting in his bath. This reminded me so much of the beginning of Big Lebowski, where he's sitting in the bath, he's enjoying himself, and then all of a sudden these guys break in, and they got him in the most compromising situation possible. And the Colonel walks in, and he takes out a razor blade. And Bobby...
Yeah, so the boys have all surrounded the tub. They're standing on the edge of the basin. He's got nowhere to go. They're about to dogpile this guy. We pull out the straight razor, and he says, this will only take a second. And then he basically, he spits on his grave, is what he does.
Yeah.
And what we get is he removes everything.
Yeah, so it's in the next scene they say that he cut his balls off, but do you think he...
I think he took the whole kit and caboodle. He took the cash and the prizes. He quickly, after removing it, we don't see it in his hand, mercifully, but he goes over to the toilet and he flushes it.
Which I thought was a very nice touch.
Yeah. And he says to him, he goes, put out the word, the next time you touch a black woman, I will personally flush the rest of you down the same toilet.
And then, they debate whether they should call 911 because this man's bleeding out.
Well, I do like that is he says put out the word, but then he goes, call an ambulance because this guy's bleeding to death. And it's like, well, he is. I'm not sure he's going to make it, man, because that tub is
it shows that he doesn't.
They filmed his death scene. Actually, I think this is the last time you see him, but they do reference that he's fine.
Yeah, that he did survive.
Because they go, he's in the hospital, he's all right. But
I would not be fine.
Yeah. This is when I finally got on board, Tanner. The tub scene, and then this next scene, which maybe one of my the greatest through lines to a Grindbin movie I've seen yet, is this bizarre thing. We're going to get into this scene, but I love this little touch they keep doing throughout the whole movie. Is Vince is woken up, so Vince, the leader of the gang, is woken up by one of his mobster goons, right? And he's all pissed. He's got to get out of bed, and he puts out his toupee and everything. But here's the thing, guys. You would think, like, okay, well, he's going to go outside and talk to the guy, right? Because he has a lady friend in the bed, and she's very pissed that he's waking up. And we're going to play...
Yeah, we get more gratuitous nudity.
Yes, it's like she pulls down the blanket, she goes, oh my God, get the fuck out of here!
She's the best.
Sorry to bother you, Vince, but we got a big problem.
Wait a minute!
Jesus Christ.
Shut up!
Yeah, she is maybe my favorite character in the whole movie.
Who could sleep with all this talking going on?
So that's the thing. Instead of going outside, and I'm like, all right, there's one of two reasons he did this. One is that he only got permission to film in this room. And two is they're like, all right, so are you going to go talk to your friend, the mobster guy out in the hall? He's like, fuck that shit, we'll just film it all right in here. Why set up another scene outside in the hall? Let's just film it all in the room. Because he just brings he brings his goon into the bedroom, and he's like, all right, well, what's going on? What's the plot? And he's like, are we really going to do this in front of everybody? He's like, yeah, go tell me right now. He's like, well, they cut off Vito's balls. And he's like, what? And that's when the naked lady yells, how am I supposed to sleep with all this talking in here?
And she's great because she sounds a lot like the, what is this, Grand Central Station?
Yes.
Well, he cut his knobs off.
Hey, what?
What's going on anyway?
Shut up and go back to sleep.
Who can sleep with all this talking going on?
Stick your fingers in your ears.
Ah.
And so then he's like, well, yeah, he's in the hospital. He's not doing well, but he's probably going to be okay. And the naked lady's just like, shut up. And then Vince turns around and goes, well, put your fingers in your ears. And she just puts the pillow over her head and is pissed off. And so then Vince goes, look, I don't want a war on my hands, so let's just go about the collections as usual. We'll take care of Vito. We'll figure out what's going on. And he's like, all right, I'm going to go back to bed now. And the goon leaves, and then he just gets back in bed.
I love it. He says, like, I could have had all of Harlem, but I wanted sunshine. I wanted swimming pools. Like, he's lamenting that he came to California. He's like, I could have controlled New York and Harlem. I guess I'll go back to sleep. He's very low-key mobster boss.
Yeah, he's very weird. At one point, he tells everybody to take the day off.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. So what I love about this part is that for the rest of the movie, almost, I'd say around 90% of the time that important dialogue, exposition is delivered, it's almost always delivered while somebody's trying to sleep with their significant other sleeping in a bed going like, will you please leave the room and have that conversation outside? Not only this woman, but there's another woman later in the movie. And I just really like that touch where it's just like, no, we're going to have all the important dialogue in a room with a naked woman. And actually, now that I think about it, that's like kind of Mr. Crown's notes.
Yeah, that does.
Yeah, people will pay more attention if there's boobs.
Because that just feels like, it's like, man, we need to really liven this scene up. Cut to nudity. So the mobsters we cut to the mobsters collecting from the one business owner in the whole movie, because the only store they were allowed to film in, right? And I couldn't find any trivia for this movie, but it really does feel like to me they had 3 locations and they filmed this in a week.
Oh, definitely.
It is mega cheap. And considering, Tanner, this guy directed The Thing with Two Heads. When was that? When did that come out?
That was a couple years before this.
I'm looking up. Yeah, 1972. And then Police Women was 1974, so 1 year after Police Women, which is has way more sets than this. There's a prison break in that movie. We get, 3 locations and filmed in a week.
His next movie had to go under budget because the Policewomen went over budget.
And so, they even went to Catalina Island at Policewomen. It was a big plot point how they took the ferry over and filmed half the movie over there. So the mobsters are collecting from the one business owner. He's short on his betting money. He's also telling, because the mobster guy comes in, he's like, you owe us $550. He's like, no, you don't know how to do math. I owe you $650. And he's like, all right, well, where is it? Because, I don't have it. And they're like, all right, well, we're going to have to get violent. But, Bobby, the Colonel's here.
We've got an ambush.
Yeah, so they knew the mobsters were coming in, and the Colonel and all the soldiers run in. And, it gets violent right away because they just shoot, one of the mobsters shoots one of the soldiers immediately and kills the guy. So now we're down to 5, okay?
Yeah, that was unexpected because they come in and hell's coming with them. And then one guy just gets dropped immediately.
Okay, so he had 6 guys, right?
Yeah, and I was down to 5.
Yeah.
And this is where Colonel Koja, he says to the mobster, he's like, you kill one of my men, I kill one of your guerrillas.
That's the Gestapo way.
Yeah, and he's pointing the gun at the mobster who shot one of his men, but then he just turns around and shoots one of the other mobsters. So it's like, not even the guy. He doesn't even kill the murderer. He kills another guy, which I guess is a better way to make your point.
I will shoot the man next to you.
So then the Colonel. This is the part where it gets really weird, is because the Colonel then goes up to the business owner. He's like, "Oh, thank you," and he's about to put the money away. He goes, we'll be taking that from now on."
I don't think that's weird. I think that's the shift. That's the major plot point. That's where we're going. We're like, oh no. Koja is just as corrupt as the mafia.
Yeah. So it's weird because it's like, man, he's not out for good. Yep,
he is no Magneto. He is a criminal.
We're back to the poor character of this movie, the prostitute. The mobsters are here to visit her, and they demand the cash. And she goes, "Look, I don't know what to tell you. I keep telling you over and over and over again, I don't have any monies." And guess what they do? Of course, they pull up the covers to see, and she's like, I don't have any money under here. It's all with Willie, and they're like, they don't know where Willie is. And then, guys, they're wondering, why aren't you helping the customers that are sitting out there? If you don't have any money and you haven't done any customers, well, what the hell? There's just 2 guys sitting on the couch right there. Let's get to work, huh? These union rules.
And by the way, the 2 customers that are waiting, this one guy, this floral print cowboy, that is a look. He's in a flower-covered shirt with a cowboy hat.
Yeah. And he runs in.
And it turns out it's an ambush.
Another ambush.
They're the soldiers.
And they make short work of one of these guys because he throws him out the damn window.
Oh, that's maybe the best stunt in the whole movie.
I feel like that is the best, yeah.
Because it's not a big window, by the way. He's thrown out the size of a bathroom window. It's like the guy could barely fit through it, which I really liked.
That jump needed to be perfect.
Oh, yeah, or else... And by the way, when he jumps out the window, I was worried that his feet were going to get stuck or something, and it was going to be real ugly. But no, this guy's a real pro, man. And so they attack the mobsters. Yeah, they throw the guy out the window, and then they tell the other one to get lost. And so we cut to the mobsters, and they're, all pissed. And I do love this scene. Is that they're all in a field, right? What kind of looks like the field from The Thing with Two Heads.
Yeah.
It's got to be the same one.
They all kind of pull up in their Cadillacs, right? And... they're like, man, things are going really bad. We got attacked. And one of this guy's, my favorite part, he goes, you see Lou over here? He had his finger broken. And he's all cut up about it. And Lou's holding this bloody finger with a handkerchief, and he's crying about it. And they're like, yeah, well, some other guy got his neck broken and the other guy got shot. But look at Lou with this finger.
Which we never saw how Lou hurt his finger.
No. That was his best finger.
Yeah. And there's also another thing coming up where they reference something that happened off screen, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they reference a bombing a restaurant.
What?
Yeah.
That is definitely something we couldn't afford.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's if we want to reorder this, I don't think it's in this scene. It's another scene with Vincent where he's chastising his men for escalating things. He's like, well, whose idea was it to throw that bomb into the restaurant? And one of the mobsters kind of hangs his head low, like, sorry, boss. And we're like, well, we never saw that in this movie.
And Vincent's also, he goes, and also, how's Lou's finger? Is he better yet? Is he ready to go back?
How's his kids handling it?
So then Ernie goes to collect at a local barbershop, right? So the writer of this movie goes in and he likes to throw around the N-word a little bit as he goes to collect some money.
Well, to be fair, he doesn't throw around the N-word in this scene. He says, "Afternoon, black gentleman."
Ah, my favorite.
Oh,
so
I'm here
polite.
for our collection money.
And so, guys, there's a couple customers sitting in the chairs.
Yeah.
And they say something about, like, don't move because those guys have razors to their necks and everything. These soldiers come in.
Yeah, the Gestapo, they get the jump on him again. It's an ambush.
But then, Bobby, it's
Oh
an
my
ambush
God.
of an
It's-
ambush.
Holy shit, because all the customers are packing heat.
Yeah, they're all mobsters. And then, how many guys would you say they shoot?
3 guys. They shoot 3 of the People's Liberation Army.
Okay, so we're down to 2?
Ooh, yep. Yeah.
I think so.
All right.
I think we're at about 2 at this point. And we get a good speech there, too.
Now, you spread the word, boy. I'll chop 10 of yours down for every one of mine.
This is some real untouchable shit going on now.
Once again, that's the Gestapo way. If they send one to the hospital, you send one to the morgue.
So at this point, he started with 6 guys. It is now down to the colonel, Gestapo guy, and 1 other random soldier.
You know, maybe it's a thing where General Ahmed said you can have 6 guys total. So if someone dies, you can recruit them. You can recruit, like, every time you lose someone, you can recruit a new player.
So it's like an RPG, like the RPG version of Black Gestapo, where you can keep recruiting new party members.
It's not, it's not capped. I don't know, maybe it's like Freebird rules where you can bring in a new member, or like the Von Erichs. Sorry, I've been doing a lot of research into wrestling history lately. They just bring in a new family member from outside. Like, yeah, he was always here.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's what he said to the general. He's like, we're talking Freebird rules, right?
Yeah.
So then we go to the mobsters meeting back in the field. They're like, hey, guys, I think your collection's going great. You get your money? Like, yeah, I got mine too. All right, cool. And so they all throw it in the back of Ernie's car, and he starts driving, I guess, to Vince's house, right?
Or just, going for a drive, yeah.
And then it's almost like you hear that 8-track tape just wafting through the air, and this movie suddenly becomes a different movie.
Met a girl.
Because all of a sudden, these ladies pull up next to him in a car.
I love this part. So these 2 ladies pull up next to him, and they're like waving and stuff. He's like, "Whoa, what's going on? What are these broads doing?" And then one of them just takes out a single boob. She just unhinges one of the girls and plops it out. Just one big old 70s titty, just like hangs it on the window, and he's like, "What?" And he almost like crashes. He's like, "Whoa, a boob, girls!" It is by far the best part of this movie, as far as I'm concerned.
It might be the most awkward way I've ever seen a boob pulled out.
Yeah, because it's a reach in.
Because she's wearing a full bra. Yep. Yeah, she's wearing the bra and everything, and she's got to take it out. It's like she's getting something out of a bag of groceries. Like, she's got to dig around for a while. And even Ernie, you come back to him, he's like, I don't know what she's doing,
Is she
man.
reaching for something? So then our lady drivers start playing Spy Hunter with Ernie and trying to run him off the road. And Ernie seems very confused the whole time about what their intent is. He seems to not really register them as a threat. He's all like, "What are you doing? Hey, can't you drive? What's going on? What?" And then a lot more ramming to the side of the road, and we see a stick in the ground with the People's Liberation flag like draped on it, and apparently that was the target. Because the ladies ram Ernie's car into that stick, which then leads him off the embankment, and the car crashes and rolls down a hill.
It's very Death Race 2000.
Yeah.
You know, because there's the specifically placed, the fist flag is like, you know, where the resistance is setting up traps for the racers.
And by the way, you'll never see these female characters again. You don't know what the story is, like if they paid them, what's going on. They just...
How mysterious.
So there, they pull him off the road, and this is great, though. So he flips down the road a bunch of times, right? So he's going down this hill. The car flips like 20 times. I'm expecting my explosion, and I'm sure you guys are, too. I'm like, okay, come on, right? The car rolled down the hill. Let's go. Where's the smoke? Where's the fire? But nothing. It's just a cracked windshield, and Ernie's all bloody in the bottom and everything. And Bobby, he goes to crawl out, and who's there?
Why, it's the Gestapo.
Yeah, the colonel's waiting for him, and they all got machine guns, right? And he goes to crawl out, and they shoot him. He's like, "Hey, what the hell, man? I already fell down a fucking hill. Like, Jesus!"
Like, I can't believe he survived that. But he's trying to announce his surrender, and they say, "Throw out the money, and I won't shoot your white ass off."
I do like this though. Is before he throws out the money, he throws out the keys. Like that would matter at this point.
You can have the car.
He says, he's like, "Look, here's my keys."
The blue book value. The blue book.
like he wants to assure them that he's not going to start the engine and drive away while it's upside down and crushed.
Yeah. Here's the keys.
I just so we're clear. I am surrendering. I'm not going to run while I'm pinned to the ground by this car. And so when he throws the money and they still shoot at him. They're still popping off shots around him, and he yells, "What the fuck's with you?"
And he goes, okay, guys. The colonel goes, guys, okay. You give us the money, and we won't shoot your white ass off. And he goes, okay. So he finally throws out the money, right? And then they throw a Molotov on top of the car. And Ernie's like, well, what the fuck? I thought we had a deal.
And he says, the deal was I wouldn't shoot your white ass off.
Boom!
Boom, and that's where we got the line that Tanner opened with.
Okay, Honky, you can come out now.
As the car just burns.
And so this is what I write. I absolutely love the setting of this next scene because, guys, we're in Vince's bedroom again, and guess who's there having to listen to a whole conversation in front of all of the mobsters?
Poor.
Our favorite character. She's still in bed.
I've decided her name's Brenda. Poor Brenda.
So this is amazing. Apparently, they could only film in that one big scene for the day, and then they had to move to the bedroom or something at Lee Frost's parents' house. Because Vince is berating all his gang members in his bedroom.
This is the scene where he asks, whose idea was it to throw the bomb into the restaurant?
And I love this is while he's talking, they just keep cutting to Brenda, who's wrapped up in a blanket, just sitting on the bed, being like, "My God." It's just she's so annoyed by the fact that he's having every important exposition conversation in the bedroom. I mean, they're called fetishes. Maybe this is his thing. He's like, I can't do business unless I'm in the bedroom. That's where I feel like I'm the best.
I thought, I can't get it up until I've bored my girlfriend so much that she's annoyed with me. That is the biggest turn on of all.
So she's just sitting there annoyed as he's chewing these dudes out. Yeah, he's talking about who threw a fucking bomb in the restaurant. What the hell was that about?
Mike, we're gonna isolate that Tanner quote, right?
Just gonna be played like a Hughes clip. When Tanner eventually leaves this show,
when I die,
play it on a loop.
When Tanner dies. That special episode where he's gunned down in the line of duty.
Or we Molotov his car and we said, well, we said we wouldn't shoot you, Tanner.
Your white ass off.
But I gave you the keys.
So Vince, he's not happy, guys. He's not happy about the bomb of the restaurant. He's not happy about all this stuff. And he's like, look, guys, things are not going good. The mobsters are really bummed. They're like, well, I don't know what to say, boss. I mean, we're trying our best.
And I like his reassurances. I don't want you thinking that I don't like you. It's just that I think you're the dumbest fuck in the world.
Now, did you notice this part? I don't know if it was just me or not, but when Vincent's yelling at them, at one point he gets like almost like a Hitler type of persona.
Yeah, I thought because his hair is very Hitlery, and he's a skinny, weird, bulbousy guy. I thought they were going to do some sort of Hitler thing with him, but no, this is a wrap on his character after this scene.
I think they do though, Tanner, because like he starts doing the Hitler, like he's putting his finger in the guy's face and yelling, and then all of a sudden he stops and kind of like goes, "What am I doing?" and then puts his hands over his head and he's like, "Oh, okay, never mind. Everybody take the day off."
What am I doing?
He steps back for a second and goes, "You know what, guys? You know what? Let's wait till it cools down, okay? Everybody go home, chill out. We'll talk about this later. I'll give you all calls, okay? Take a vacation. Take your paid vacation days. It's fine, okay? I'll contact you later." And that's what he says, Bobby, when he lets Joe stay behind and he cups his face and he says that line about how you're the dumbest fuck in the world. And Joe says back to him, he goes, "Thanks, boss."
Yeah. This is a very, Bob, I want you to know that you are my number one guy.
And Tanner, I think you're right. I think that's a wrap on the director.
That's a wrap on this entire plot line with the mafia. They say they're going to come back, which would lead you to believe that they're gonna come back, but nope, they're done.
Yeah, because we have a new antagonist. We go to the colonel and the soldiers, and guess what? They found a new base, guys. They found, as I call it, the Gestapo summer camp. There's this whole montage. He's like, this place is great, man. We got a tennis court. We got a pool. We got
3 acres in the back. We got a guest house that can put up 40 men.
We got a karate area.
Do you think they send out flyers and everything around the neighborhood?
Oh yeah, you got to get everybody welcome.
Do you think they advertise it as like, come for the pool party, stay for the Gestapo?
I think they say, come for the khakis, stay for the black.
Which is also the new slogan of the Grindbin.
I do love this, though, is that we go to a montage of the guys training, and then, pool party, hey
Because, I mean, the pool area is the officers' club, and he wants his men treated well.
He says, I want all the guys treated the same. He's like, I want officers and enlisted men all treated alike. They all get to hang out at the pool party with a lot of...
It really reminded me of the scene in Boogie Nights with the pool party. I thought They Told Me Not to Come was about to start playing.
yeah, Dirk Diggler's going to show up. He's all nervous, you know.
And I got to say, there's been a running theme with all of our Grindbin episodes where every time there's a revolution coming, it takes its time getting there. Every revolution is turning into a pool party.
Every revolution's got to start with a pool party and end with a cake. That's just how it goes, man. You can't have the revolution unless you have a cake. That's what I've learned, actually, is that when the cake is introduced, that means things are, like, we're finally ready to do it. And is there a cake in this movie? We will find out. But for right now, Grindbin All-Star Ushi de Guard's here, and she's now dating the Colonel. And they're hanging out by the pool and everything, and Ushi doesn't have one line in this movie. She's just there to wear a bikini.
Yes.
That's her job in this movie.
And she does her job well.
Yeah, and she's in Russ Meyer movies for a certain reason. As like I said, she's in all sorts of pornos. You can go look her up on your own, but it's definitely not safe for work. So do not put her name into a Google search anywhere that's inappropriate.
Yeah, do your searches through Bing like everybody else.
So the collection business is going okay, guys. But this is when we find out that they're running the same scheme as the mobsters now. It's like, yeah, we're going to collect, and they got a quota, and if they don't meet it, we're going to take it from... So basically, they've taken over the same racket.
Meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Yeah.
But you know what, Tanner? You know how they're going to get even more serious about this?
Oh, they put on those spare black uniforms left over from some other Nazi movie.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man. We cut to these guys wearing Nazi SS uniforms. Like you're saying, you know what? He directed Love Camp 7.
Oh,
That's where he got
just
it.
use spare uniforms.
So do you think, okay, so this is by the way, this pool party is the same scene. It's the same house as the one in Police Women. Do you think that between all the random SS uniforms that he had sitting in his house from Love Camp 7, which was a really, really hard thing to explain to guests when they came over and there's all these Nazi uniforms everywhere. Do you think he's like, look, I got this house for another day and I can get another location and I got a bunch of Nazi uniforms. Can you write another movie about this? I'm almost thinking like that's maybe how this movie got made.
It had to happen.
Because a lot of the people from Police Women are in this same movie.
Yeah, it's like we have a free weekend.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
So yeah, they're all walking around. There's a bunch of guys now walking around in Nazi uniforms, and they're marching on the streets and around the tennis court and everything. And then we cut to him giving a speech on the tennis court, right? The colonel's giving a speech, and he's like, we're going to take back the neighborhood. And they all start chanting vengeance, vengeance over and over again. And so then, guys, we get to a character we haven't seen for maybe 50 minutes, which is the general's back.
Yeah, remember our main character?
Right.
Yeah.
Xavier. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just all of a sudden back now, and he's at the hospital. He's like, hey, remember me, guys? I was in this movie. And then Marcia comes up, and she's like, hey, what's going on? He goes, hey, when you get out of work. And she's like, I haven't seen you a long time, and fuck it, sex scene. Because that's what happens. They just...
Yeah, it's pretty bold because she says, I haven't seen you in 3 weeks. And he goes, tonight's the night. And then, bam, we just smash cut to it. It's a literal smash cut.
You can imagine Mr. Crowd's about to get out of his chair because he's bored, and then he goes, there we go. And so then after the sexy stuff, right, the phone rings, and the nurse and Marcia answers it, right? And it's the doctor from the hospital. He goes, hey, well, it's a good thing you left work early because, man, somebody bombed the clinic. And he's just standing in a room where they just, turned over one of the cots. and they just kind of took a poster off the wall, and they only filmed it in one corner of the room, by the way. They never show the full devastation.
Yeah, there's some plywood sheets in the back.
Yeah, I really like that. They're just like, how do we make it look like it was bombed? I don't know. Turn the cot over. And so he's like, yeah, the patients are fine. I don't know. I don't know how, though, because this place is fucked up, man. There's beds everywhere. Like,
I think it was one of those special kind of bombs that only kind of destroys posters and flips over cots. It doesn't harm people. It's a new kind of bomb.
So, like, we have the neutron bomb that kills people but not buildings. And then we got this bomb that just kills buildings but not people.
Man, it's really the other side of Hell Squad.
So then Marcia comes into the room. I'm still waiting for the scene where all the Gestapo guys have to share the same tub. Like, it's really maybe what this movie was missing, is that in the pool party, they're like, well, we got the big pool, but we only have the one tub. And we
just
only got so much
vengeance.
water. Yeah, vengeance. As they're in the tub. And so then Marcia comes in the room, and she's pissed off. Well, the doctor tells Marcia over the phone, he's like, look, things are worse than before. Like, we got more drug addicts than ever. And so she comes into the room, and she tells the general, she's like, you know what, why don't you get the hell out? And he's like, what's wrong? And she goes, I know that your guys are pushing drugs to the community. Like, the doctor told me over the phone, and somebody bombed the clinic. And he's like, I know what you're talking about. I haven't been in this movie for like a half hour.
And she goes, you don't, do you?
And he's like, no. And she's like, well, you should still leave. He's like, okay. And so he just leaves the scene. Then all of a sudden he's walking outside and the news is here?
There goes that news van again. They ambushed him. Everybody's ambushing everybody in this movie.
Yeah, like all of a sudden the Gotcha News shows up and they're like, hey, General, hey, what about all
this?
Is
it true the People's Army are being involved in a blood war and what?
And he's like, guys, I've been out of this movie for like a half hour. I'm getting caught up right now. I don't know what's going on. I just got my pages for the script and everything. Yeah, what do you think? You got any comments? He's like, no, I don't. Look, if somebody did something illegal, they're going to get... I'll turn them over to the authorities and everything.
It's like he just got back from a week off of work, and everyone's like hitting him with everything the second he walks in the door. He's like, oh, hold up, wait.
And I also really like this touch is that, like, they didn't have, like, a TV camera. They had a film camera. Like, this is going to show before a movie or something.
This is medium cool.
And so then, yeah, basically this is where we learn the details as he goes, look... I haven't been in the movie for 30 minutes. Like Bobby said, I took a vacation. Now apparently everything's gone to hell. He goes, my deal is with the state. I'm supposed to help the people of Watts with the People's Liberation Army. We get $10,000 a week, and it's supposed to help the people. And I'm just like, okay, so the deal was, what? That at some point the state's like, man, Watts is really bad. So here's $10,000 a week. Have fun.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Urban renewal.
So then the general comes to visit the colonel, right, at his Nazi summer camp, and he's like, okay.
That's pretty great. He pulls up to the gate, and he immediately clocks that there's a dude with a machine gun up in a tree.
Yeah.
Like, that's like the lookout guy.
And the general's like, look, I've been gone for 1 week. You guys already have a summer camp, and you didn't invite me to the pool party?
He's pretty upset about it.
He's like, technically, I am still in charge.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. He's talking to the guy in the lookout tower. Basically, he goes, "Okay, monkey in the tree, are you gonna open the gate, or am I gonna have to ram my way through?" And they submit him to a body search. Which, what an indignity when you're the general.
Do you think the colonel was like, sorry, man, I guess your invitation got lost in the mail?
That is a very, you return to work after a week and everything's weird. Like, he's walking through a pool party. Like, what the shit?
Yeah, everybody's got inside jokes. Yeah, like, what the fuck, man?
And he says, is there some place we can talk? And he tells him, we're going to talk right here. And he hears his new name in Swahili.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing we forgot to mention is at one point the colonel's like, all right, and by the way, not only are we getting
their new outfits.
Yeah, these new Hugo Boss uniforms, but we're all getting new names.
We're going to shed the names that the white man gave us, and we're going to take new names in Swahili. As he's taking everything in, General Ahmed tells him, when you chose a new name, you should have went with Nyoka. Snake.
And he's like, this is exactly why I don't invite you to the pool party. All right? You can come here,
exactly.
You got to judge.
You're such a party pooper. God, what a downer. He says, this is my camp. This is my army. And you should conduct yourself in a manner befitting of your situation. To which General Ahmed says back to him, hey, Tanner, why don't you say what he says?
Wait, what does he say?
You're gonna drop this in, Mike.
No, don't drop that. Everyone, use your imagination.
He says, you jive ass, and then, You jive-ass gentleman. Is what he calls him.
Hello, black gentleman.
Yeah, he calls him a jive-ass gentleman.
By the way, moving forward, our show is being renamed Jive-ass Gentleman.
Nope.
No, it is not. No, it is not.
I do like this, though, guys. Did you notice, though, about this pool party that it looks strangely like the last pool party?
Yeah.
Hey, the party
In fact,
never stopped.
You know how similar it is to the last pool party? Everybody seems to be sitting in the same seat, and everybody seems to be hitting the same marks. I mean, the exact same marks.
You think back to when you were in high school, in college, and stuff like that. There wasn't assigned seating, but after a couple weeks, everyone knew where everyone sat.
Oh, it's the same way in my Zumba class.
Yeah,
I mean,
you got your spot all scored out now. No one's gonna come sit in it. They know that belongs to Tanner.
yeah.
This is where Tanner Zumbas.
I just really like to, pull back the curtain of the filmmaking part of it, is that they were so fucking lazy when they made this movie. You could just see people are like, should we go different positions, Lee, to show it's a different day? He's like, shut up, film it. It's like, because everybody's literally the same spot. Ushi Nagard has not moved an inch. She's still sitting the same way, in the same bikini, in the same seat. Everybody's hitting the same marks as they walk across the screen. It's like literally you just carbon copied the last pool party and then inserted the general into this scene. You just changed the dialogue, keep the scene. Absolutely loved it.
It was great. But yeah, and so he's immediately enraged about being called a jive-ass gentleman. And he says, I don't want to waste you because I feel sorry for you. You fight with weakness and begging. And, he says that, all he focuses on is, weak shit like feeding the poor, and goes, go feed the poor, General. And he offers him money, since that's all, all he does anyway is take donations. And the General refuses.
Because we should say the General's money got cut off by the state. So they because of all the violence, yeah.
And so he offers to give him the 10 grand he needs to keep going, and he refuses their dirty money because he knows how they got it.
Yeah, he just leaves. He's like, fine, I will go feed the poor. But in the meantime, the next time you have a pool party, I may not show up, but an invitation would be nice.
I'd appreciate that on a professional level.
Yes.
I think I'm owed that much.
So then we go back to the bar from the start of the movie. Right?
Oh, and this is great. We get a cameo from Mr. Bill Cosby playing his character from the 1975 movie Let's Do It Again with Jimmy Walker and Sidney Poitier, which is deep cut at the time it was contemporary, but he looks exactly like the way Bill Cosby's character dresses in that movie. We got a big floppy white hat and it's almost a zoot suit cut, but it is just a weird kind of white, I guess, pimp suit.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, and he's got a big bushy beard. He looks like he's either a pimp or he's got magic beans that he's going to sell you in a fairy tale.
Yeah, definitely. And here's the thing: is that what is this character? Who's this character?
Bill Cosby.
Yeah,
I just have him as white suit guy. I don't know.
Is this Willie?
Oh,
this may be Willie Marsh.
Because I kept writing. I go, is this Willie? Will I ever get to meet him? This is what I'm still writing in my notes. Will I ever get to meet Willie? Because I really do want to meet Willie the pimp.
I mean, it's the only character in this movie with a visual indicator that he is clearly a pimp.
Yeah, but in this scene, he's not a pimp. Because Gestapo guy just shows up and he says, do you have that briefcase full of money or something?
It turns out he's a drug pusher.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's still not Willie.
No.
Well, don't pigeonhole Willie. He could have a lot of different revenue streams and side hustles.
Yeah, Willie's a Renaissance man.
Yeah, one prostitute's not going to pay the bills.
Even if she is the one prostitute in Los Angeles.
The one,
There's only so many hours in a day.
Supplementary income. It's important.
She just got taken by Ramrod, so he's lost his only prostitute. So.
Just this day just keeps getting worse for Willie.
Yeah, so basically, we'll just say this is Willie, okay? Because otherwise, I'm never gonna get to meet him.
So they're trying to push another stash of drugs on him, and he's explaining, I still have stash from last week.
And he's like, yeah, well,
that sounds like a you problem, basically.
Yeah. Because, okay, I want to tell you why I really wanted to meet Willie is because Vincent said that part where they were gonna turn him upside down and see what came out of his pockets, and I just really wanted to see some sort of mobsters give a guy a swirly. I really wanted to see him hold a guy upside down and stuff fall out of his pockets, all cartoonish But I never got that.
Someday your dreams will come true.
You can't tease that and not have it. That's all I'm saying. Is like that's something that it's like, oh, this will be fun. Nope, you never get it.
They also teased a bomb being thrown into a restaurant. Didn't get to see that either. Life is full of disappointments, Mike.
You know what, Tanner? I'm sure they had all the plans of the world to film it, and then Lee saw the the budget and went, nope. So what you're telling me, Bobby, is that the deal is he's like, you got drugs in a briefcase, but you need to get more drugs?
Well, he's trying to give him another briefcase of drugs. And he's saying, like, I haven't finished selling the stuff you gave me last time. I can't keep up with this. You know, this is basically Lucy working in the chocolate factory. And the chocolates are just coming too fast, man.
That's what he explains it to him, too. He's like, you ever see that I Love Lucy? That's what I feel like right now.
He's like, I'm sitting here like Lucy, and you're yelling at me like Ricky, and I can't handle this. And he says, the heat is on. He explains to him, look, if I make one bad report on you, you're going to wish you were in the slammer. He has no choice but to take it. But what happens when he goes to put it in the trunk?
So there's a lot of briefcases because Willie goes out. He hands him like a briefcase, and then Willie goes out to the side of the restaurant at first, and then he's attacked by the People's Liberation Army guys. Not the Gestapo guys.
I believe what you're saying, Mike, is that there's an ambush.
There's an ambush by
God.
By the generals guys. So the original soldiers, not the Gestapo people, the People's Liberation Army. They attack him outside and they beat up Willie and take a briefcase, and then we cut to Bobby, the other guy, Gestapo guy, putting a briefcase in his trunk.
I feel like I was playing 3-card Monty.
There's
like
too
I'm trying
many
to keep my eye
briefcases.
on each briefcase and know what's which.
Yeah, because they're both the same briefcase. And it's so confusing. I'm like, wait, what is going on? But the Gestapo guy puts a briefcase in his trunk, and then the People's Liberation Army guys run up to his trunk, and they open it, and then they steal his briefcase. And Gestapo guy goes, and he, like, checks on Willie, and he's beat up, and then he comes back, and he sees the other briefcase is gone. He's like, damn. Man, even I don't know what just happened.
Yeah. I like that the general would not just directly take Koja's money, but he'll have his men steal it, because that's honest work.
Okay, here's one question I had, legit question. Is the general aware of this?
I thought so. My assumption was that he's like, okay, we'll steal their drug money and use it for good. Also, we'll steal their drugs and flush them down the toilet so they can't sell them. That was my assumption of what was going on.
Okay, because that's what I thought too, but we'll get into it after this next scene because it's weird what happens, okay? But the colonel is having a little Super Vixens tie with Ushida Guard, right? They're in a Russ Meyer movie, and they're having sex. And then Gestapo guy shows up, and I do love this. You know what? The colonel has fully become the director of this movie because he's having sex with his girlfriend, and Gestapo guy just walks right into the room. He's like, yeah, what? And he goes, I need to deliver some exposition. And so we watch as Gestapo guy tells Colonel the plot of the movie as Ushida Guard just sits there on the bed looking bored.
In fact, they even say, she gets acknowledged one time when he goes, maybe we should talk alone. To which he responds, we are alone.
Yeah.
That's cold.
Yeah.
That's hardcore.
And she's just sitting there naked because, like, this is what they obviously paid for her to do in the movie. And Gestapo guy tells the colonel, he goes, hey, yeah, all our collection money got stolen. And Colonel's like, well, go take care of the general then. What the fuck? But here's the thing, Tanner, is we cut to the general's house, and Gestapo guy walks in with a bunch of soldiers, and they wake him up, but the general wasn't expecting anybody. He was just, like, asleep.
Listen, this guy goes on, like, week-long vacations. He's very, up to the climax of this movie, he is very kind of unaware. He's like a Don Knotts for most of this movie.
Yeah, he's like the Mr. Furley. Like, so what you're telling me is that he said, all right, go steal all that money from the colonel. And they're like, well, shouldn't you go into hiding or something? Because he's probably going to go after you. He's like, I don't see any reason why to do that. I mean, are you sure, sir? Yeah, I'll be fine. Do you want, like, a guard at the house or something? No, it's fine. It's fine. Do you want to lock the door? No, it'll be fine. And what happens? Well, he goes to bed that night. The Gestapo guy just comes in, holds a gun to his head, and he goes, sorry, General, you just committed suicide. And he takes him out to the middle of the desert, a.k.a. the set from the Thing with Two Heads.
Bike chase
Thing with Two Heads, yep.
And you can almost see the dirt bikes in the background, right? And Rosie Greer riding by. You know, if this was a shared universe and Rosie Greer and a white guy on his shoulder rode by.
That should have been the sequel. The Thing with Two Heads versus the Black
Just
Gestapo.
one time in the background.
Yes.
Man, how amazing would that be? That's where this all needed to go.
So yeah, they lead him out. I do love this, by the way, how this is shot and everything, is that they lead him out into the scene, the set from Thing with Two Heads. And the Gestapo guy has the general walk out of the car, and he
says, get out and start walking.
He's got this gun pointed at him, which isn't a great shot. They frame it really, really great. And he's pointing the gun at him, and he says, you can either keep walking and get shot in the back or turn around and get shot in the face.
And he chooses option 3, and he books it.
Yeah, he goes, ha! And just rolls down a hill.
But he does get shot. They do shoot him. Yeah.
Yeah, he takes one bullet and then goes down the hill, and they say, if the bullet didn't get him, the fall sure as hell did.
Yeah, and I do love this as they go, also we should leave because somebody may have heard the shot. I'm like,
Smart.
In the middle of nowhere? Like, what the... Like, isn't that exactly why you go out in the middle of nowhere? To kill somebody? So nobody will hear it? Like, what was the plan after they killed him? Were they going to bury the body or just be like, well, we got to get out of here, guys?
We're late for dinner.
Yeah, because also trying to get away from being in the middle of nowhere is not going to be easy because it's like, well, I saw this one car drive away, But yeah. And so they leave, and then the general... he survives, and he goes to Marcia's place, and she fixes him up,
He's brought
right?
to Marcia's by two of the People's Liberation guys, who are, I believe, the two guys who stole the briefcase. That's why I think,
okay,
it was a thing. Like, those are two loyal People's Liberation guys. Yeah, we should have told you we were going to steal all that money and drugs. Sorry.
He's like, you did that today? And so the next thing we see is that the Gestapo is going to visit the poor hooker. It's just, she is really, she never gets a break. They go back to her, they're like, hey, we want the money, we're going to pull over the covers. She's like, this again. And she's like, I told you, I don't know how many times, I don't have the money, Willie has it. So I guess that guy wasn't Willie. Because
damn it.
They're like, I started writing my notes at this point, you know what, I don't think there's a Willie. I think she's making it up. Where the fuck is Willie? And the mobster, the Gestapo guys are like, well, we want the money and everything, and then it just ends with them taking the blanket off her. Because we got to end the scene with nudity, I guess.
Of course.
And this is when I write my notes, I go, what happened to the mobsters? Are they still on break? Are they still waiting for Vincent's call? Because it would have been nice if maybe you just showed a scene where one of the guys was waiting by the phone.
He's like, I don't know, it's not ringing.
Yeah, maybe he's at home, right? And he's like, all right, honey, I'm going to go take a shower, but if the phone rings, tell me if it's Vincent, okay? You can come in and get me at any time. And then we watch the whole shower, and then he comes back and goes, did Vincent call? No, he didn't call. I got to sell some drugs. So then, I got a mortgage to pay. So then the colonel's giving the speech to the guys, right? And it just looks like the same speech as before, where they just all start shouting vengeance. But this time, Bobby, we get Nazi audio.
Yeah, we start slipping. You might want to play this part. But yeah, while they're chanting vengeance, we're hearing people chanting Sieg Heil.
Yeah. We're really doing the full, that's just like it, isn't it, guys?
It's exactly like the Nazis, man.
No.
This is how it happened. This is how it happened in Germany.
So hold on. You're telling me it all started because Hitler wanted to have a pool party?
That's it. He was an artist.
And Neville Chamberlain was pissed he didn't get invited? This is new to me, guys. Do you think that was an episode of Heil Honey, I'm Home, by the way? That Hitler was going to have a pool party, he didn't invite Chamberlain? Oh, no, you know what? He didn't invite Mussolini.
Oh. And Mussolini was played by, a special guest star? Like Bob Hoskins as Mussolini.
I was going to say Henny Youngman. Oh, you know what? No, hold on. Henny Youngman had to be Neville Chamberlain because there was a part where he goes, take my country, please. All right, I'm done.
All right.
And that's it. Bobby, start the band. I'm tapped. I think that might end the show.
Officially, those are Grindbin rules. If someone says, Bobby, start the band, we have to stop what we're doing and just turn off our computers and shut down.
Yeah. But no, we'll go back to the one business owner because this... Again, this mob operation is really small time, guys. They have one prostitute. Yeah. They're looking to expand, okay?
And look, this business owner never has the money. No. You gotta stop asking him for it.
And this is funny because the Gestapo shows up and he's like, I told you a million times I don't fucking have the money. And he's like, in fact, if I gave you the money, then I wouldn't have the store. So it's like kind of like a chicken egg type of scenario. Like, what do you want? Do you want the money? Do you want the business? I don't even know. And they just beat him up and leave him. And he's like, all right, fine. I give up, man.
What else can you do, you know?
Plight of the small business owner.
You know what would have been really funny is if he just put up a clothes sign after this. And he's like, I'm done, man. So then we go, the general, he's all good now, right? And he's trying to get control of the situation, and he's just like, all right, so I took another week off. What's going on now? Marcia's like, yeah, things are getting worse, and they get in a fight, and he's like, well, I think I'm going to go kill all the Gestapo guys. And she's like, wait, you could just do it by yourself? And he's like, yeah.
I'm a badass now. I can totally do it.
And she's like, okay, well, bye. I'm leaving this movie. That's a wrap on Marcia. We'll never see her again.
Goodbye, movie.
The Gestapo are now enjoying another pool party, right? But here's the thing, is now they got a pool party with champagne. So they're breaking out, like, they got, like, the bottles of Dom on the table and everything. Like, this is, maybe the Sunday.
This is a celebratory pool party.
This is the brunch, you know? Like, they save up for it every week, you know?
They're doing mimosas?
Yes, they are. But somebody forgot the orange juice, so all they have is... and so the Gestapo, or maybe they're, you know, one of the guys is going to squeeze the orange juice. You got to have the fresh squeezed. So they're waiting around for the orange juice. They're drinking their champagne. And at the same time, the general sneaks through the set of The Thing with Two Heads with a duffel bag. And apparently in this duffel bag, he stole Batman's duffel bag. Because he's got like a bunch of grappling hooks and Batman tools in it.
He knows what he's doing.
Which is pretty amazing. Do you think that Batman carried a duffel bag around? I kind of would have liked that.
On those early missions?
Yeah.
Before he got the utility belt? That was like, he was running around with a duffel bag, and he was like, I gotta find an easier way to do this.
Yeah, they're actually doing that on Gotham right now.
Really? So, like, he's trying to break into the Joker's headquarters, and he, like, has to put down the duffel bag and rummage through it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a 16-year-old kid with a duffel bag and a future crime fighter.
And is he like, Alfred, you forgot to pack the duffel bag. What the fuck?
Yeah.
God damn it, how am I supposed to get in anywhere if I don't have the grappling hook?
This is just full of sandwiches.
He drives all the way back to Wayne Manor.
Master Bruce needs to eat his lunch.
He mixed up the duffel bags.
Oh, God. How great. Here it is, guys. Batman opens the duffel bag. He sees all the sandwiches inside. And then you cut to Wayne Manor. And Alfred opens the duffel bag there, and he goes, oh, no.
And you just cut to him crying at the funeral. I failed you.
Would Alfred really be crying, or would he get all the money? I mean, that's kind of the thing, too, is like, if Batman died, did Alfred just get everything?
Prior to him meeting Robin, I suppose, yeah.
So he would have just been like, you know, because Bruce Wayne's like, I'm going to go fight crime. He's like, yeah, you know what? You should. That'd be a great idea.
You definitely should.
They had to have done that at some point, right? Like evil Alfred.
You know what he should go, you know what you should do, Batman, is don't bring a gun. In fact, you shouldn't kill anybody. Just go, like, fight him with grappling hooks and stuff. So what happens is the general sneaks around with the duffel bag full of Batman tools. He uses the grappling hook to get over a fence, which he didn't need the grappling hook for, by the way, because there's no, like, chicken wire on the top of the fence or anything.
No, it's the tennis court fence. It's just chain link.
Yeah, he could have climbed over it.
In fact, he took longer and made more noise using the grappling hook.
Hey, if you bring a grappling hook, you're going to want to use it.
You're right,
it's true.
He did bring it all this way. And the funny thing is, though, he doesn't use it on the fence. He, like, puts it in a tree.
So he can, like, climb out of the tree and down the fence?
From what I see, yes. He climbs in a tree, then climbs down to the fence. And I was like, oh, he must have, like, a duffel bag full of weapons. But at this point, all he does is just drop a duffel bag on a dude's head.
Yeah, the first few, like, encounters he has, like Metal Gear Solid style, I really like because he quite clearly knocks out the guy and then ties him up. And so I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, he's going to just use his brain, and he knows, like, these guys aren't necessarily bad; they're just misled. So he's gonna knock these guys out and kind of capture them, and then make his way to the big boss. He does that for the first few times.
Then he gets bored.
There's that great part where he hides in the cardboard box. Yeah. And some guy's like, I don't remember that being here.
There's a music sting.
Yeah. And so, yeah, he takes out the guy's Tanner. You're right. He's taking him out slowly, you know, Solid Snake style. He's taking guns. He's blending in and everything. He's kind of going Hitman style. He does take out one guy Hitman style with the piano wire type of thing, right? Gets behind him. He takes him out.
And he starts planting traps like he's hunting the predator.
If only Arnold had a duffel bag.
I thought he was going to cover himself in mud and hide against a tree. They're like, what happened to that guy? That guy partied a little too hard.
And so then, he goes around taking out Gestapo members while the leaders are just enjoying the champagne brunch. And then the general's now undercover as a drill sergeant. I do like this. He goes, hey, guys, so I'm new around here, and what we're going to do today is something different. All right, you're all going to run that way and just keep running. And it works.
Yeah, and again, I was like, oh, that's great. He knows these are the new recruits. They're not even they probably don't even know what they've signed up for. I'm going to get them away from the action so they don't get hurt. Totally loved it. Totally was into it.
How far do you think those guys went before they're like, can we turn around?
Don't question it. You want to get invited to the pool party? And I like it when they run away. He says, "Bye-bye, you mothers."
He goes around taking out more guys. That's what he does. The hitman kill to the guy in the gun tower.
He starts rigging these jungle traps.
He becomes Kevin McAllister, and then he's built all these traps and stuff. And that song from Home Alone starts playing.
The Nutcracker.
Yeah.
And after each kill, he should have gone yes.
Well, he did call the colonel a horse's ass.
So he sets up these. They're the Infernal Machine. I don't know if people know that, but it's the Infernal Machine was a assassination device invented by this upset Italian guy to assassinate the King of France in the early 1800s.
An upset Italian.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a dissident Italian guy in the 1830s, where it was essentially a multi-barreled musket that was rigged to all fire at the same time.
Okay.
Oh, Tanner, I just looked it up on the internet. Yeah. He actually invented that because he didn't get invited to a pool party.
Oh, yeah. The King of France was famous for his pool parties. But the funny thing is, historically, he set up, it was something like a 16-barrel version of it. Pointed down at the king who was riding by in a carriage, set it off, all 16 barrels fired, still somehow managed to miss the king.
Oh.
But
wow.
These Infernal Machines that our general is using, much more accurate, much more deadly.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so he sets it up with a tripwire, right? And he knows where the... This is really weird. It's the corridor these guys are walking down is the Overlook Hotel type of thing, where it's the hedge maze. It's just these two giant hedges on each side, and they're just marching down, and then they walk right through the tripwire, and all of the soldiers get shot and killed. So, Tanner, your theory of him saving guys because they're innocent is not right.
Yep. He abandoned that plan not early on, about halfway through.
Just lambs to the slaughter.
And like Bobby said, he gets on one knee and he goes, yes! And so then he runs in and he just starts killing everybody.
He's blowing away everyone. He's mowing people down as they come running out of the barracks. He's got a gun in each hand like a cowboy.
Look, I get it, because sometimes when you play a Hitman level, you're like, you know what, fuck this shit, I'm just killing everybody.
You fuck up the mission about 3-4 times, then go,
Yeah, it's you know what?
And now it's Halo.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Fucking take him out. And that's what he does. He just starts gunning everybody down, and he's just mowing dudes down. And then the colonel, he gets the jump on him, right? So the colonel is by the pool. He gets the jump on the colonel, and he goes, drop your gun. And he throws it in the pool.
He says, throw the gun in the pool, motherfucker.
And he throws it in the pool, and he's like, all right.
He looks up at him. He's kind of impressed. And he says, you might want to drop this in. It's pretty good. He goes, well, the pussycats finally got fangs. And he says, they were always there.
And he's talking to him, and then all of a sudden, Bobby, from behind, Gestapo guy, grabs the colonel. Or grabs the general. It's an ambush. Ambush of an ambush. He grabs him from behind, and he wrestles at the gun.
And they got a little double team move they're going to do. So he puts him in some kind of MMA hold on the ground. And then dude pulls out his straight razor.
And we know what happens with that.
You know what happens. He goes for the kill, and then suddenly feet come up like a monkey flip in wrestling.
It's has he never seen a pro wrestling thing? Whenever the guy holds him, you don't go attack him because he's always going to duck or get out of it.
I know. I don't know how it was in the 70s, but surely that must have happened all the time back then.
It's a tale as old as time.
It's true. That's how Cain and Abel threw down.
So we get the flip, and when Mac from Night Court, the colonel, comes down, he slits his own man's throat.
It's a good shot, though. The throat slit is pretty cool. And so Gestapo guy's done. And then there's a big fight between the colonel and the general. And at one point, the general knocks the colonel into the pool. And then the colonel just starts swimming for the gun. And I go, well, I assume that's worthless because it's been thrown in a pool. But what do I know about guns?
Because suddenly there's a boom underwater.
Yeah. Yeah, here's the thing is, like, all of a sudden, it's almost like Lee was just like, all right, the movie's over. And they're like, well, don't you want to? No, fuck it. Just walk away. Because all it is the colonel gets out of... Well, the colonel's floating dead, okay?
Yeah, they do an ambiguous thing where you hear the boom, but you don't know who shot who.
And, well, the general gets out of the pool.
Yeah.
But then you see the colonel float to the surface, and I don't know about you guys, but it didn't look like he was dead. It looked like the guy was swimming.
Because he's doing a back float.
Well...
Instead of like a dead man's float, which is the international symbol of someone's dead in the pool. This, he's on his back, he's just relaxing in the sun at his pool party.
I'm thinking like, oh, we're gonna get some sort of Jason thing, you know? But no, the general just gets out of the pool, and I'm not even joking. He just Charlie Browns his way out of this movie. He just sulks his shoulders. He drops the gun on the lawn, and then he just walks, and we watch him walk out the front gate of the house.
We should have gotten the sad Hulk music while he hitchhikes.
It really is. And then he just kind of walks out sad, and then we freeze frame on the colonel still floating in the pool. Credits.
It's yet another, we've seen this so many times, yet another situation where, like, this isn't the end, but we're running the credits. We're like, okay, so we killed the bad guy and we're getting out of here. We're not addressing any of the problems that have happened.
Yeah, nothing.
Like, they still think that the People's Liberation Army has gotten all caught up in drug running. Like, they're still fucked as far as that goes. This guy's probably going to prison.
So, at this point, Vincent, the mob guys are like, okay, we're back in business.
Yeah.
Because they were just like, when Vincent said, let's just wait for it to cool down, he's like, well, we'll just wait for those guys, one of them to kill each other.
Perfect. Clockwork.
It's perfect, yeah. So that's it. That's Black Gestapo. Guys, recommendations.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. I wasn't really on board for the beginning, but it started, once it starts getting really wild, that's when it grabbed me. I think this is a definite watch. I'd recommend this to anybody.
You know, I like it. It's a fun... It's fun and kind of easy. It's an easy watch. It's a little over 90 minutes. There's some good weirdness in it.
Yeah, I'd say it's okay. Like it's not like you're saying, Tanner. It's an
a
easy
mild
watch.
recommend for you.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, like, here's the thing: is I'd heard so much about it, and everybody on the Patreon's really excited about this one. But for me, I was like, yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's
you built it up too much in your head.
Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be some giant epic, and I'm like, oh, it's just like another policewoman.
That's actually a fair point. I didn't know much about this other than the title, but I thought it was the Black Gestapo was going to go all the way with it, go ham on it.
Yeah.
I thought like we were going to have them going house to house, and like we were really going to be like, no, these are black Nazis.
No, it never gets there, which is disappointing. Like there is so much more they could have done with this premise.
Yeah, he kind of stops it before it even gets off the ground.
Yeah, I mean, for a movie clearly shot in like a weekend or a week, it's fine. But you're right. It was never realized. It was like you said, Bobby, it's like he ran into an office and went, black Nazis. And they're like, here's some money. And then he's like, well, fuck, I got to shoot this movie. And I never wrote the script.
But all he received was $10,000, so we had to figure out how to...
Oh, so that was the meta thing?
Most of that.
Is he's like... that was the whole meta thing. He's like,
that was him complaining about the $10,000.
I like that.
And when they wouldn't give him another $10,000, he wrote in the part about them taking away the money.
Yeah, and that's when he wrote the part about when he goes, and that part where you guys bombed the restaurant. Which, man, wouldn't it have been great to see that, audience? Wouldn't you have loved that scene?
You know, I'm like a shop owner, and you guys keep coming in, going, well, where is it? That's how I am.
Giant meta statement to the studio. Like a big middle
finger. Every part of this movie. And meanwhile, you guys are just hanging out having, I don't know, pool parties or whatever. I'm over here trying to get shit done.
So what you're telling me
taste?
Is that Lee, in reality, is the general. And he's just trying to get... He's just trying to get his money.
He's a good man trying to make a difference.
Yeah. I'm not going to go so far as to say that the man who directed this movie is a good man. But he's a man. He's a man, and he's trying to do something.
We don't know what that something is.
Yeah,
but
he's got something going on. But I'm sure you hear that sound. Guys, how do you think Bobby DeVito fit in the world of the Black Gestapo, man? This could get dicey.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I think, we established many times that shop owner doesn't have the money. And I think we know why. Oh. And I think we know who does. I just envision that, every morning that shop owner shows up and that damn window's broken again and it smells like pizza and the money's gone. And in the distance, you just hear the van take it off. And that's how DeVito got the money.
Holy shit. You know, when you just said that, Bobby, I just thought of something. You remember the major plot point in the van?
Mm-hmm.
DeVito needs the money to pay who?
Oh.
It's for betting.
It all comes together.
He didn't meet his quota! Holy shit! Oh my god.
And so he goes to this poor shop.
Yeah. Holy shit.
He does what he has to do to survive, man. Like all of us.
Tanner, what do you think?
I'm going to go with the kind of obvious one. So, Bobby and DeVito are tooling around one day, and they hear about this neighborhood called Watts, and how there's only one prostitute in the whole area. So if there's only one, she's a sure bet, because she can't say no. Because you have to, like, if you pay her, she's like a captive audience in a way.
It's why she's there.
It's her sole purpose. So they head down to Watts and are never seen again.
Oh.
You know, Tanner, this is a known fact about the Grindbin universe, is that there's 2 prostitutes in LA. There's one on the east side, which is in this movie, and one on the west side, which is Kim Bentley from Malibu High. Because she has that line outside the van by the docks.
Oh.
So maybe he wanted to go to the other side of town.
Variety is the spice of life.
That's what DeVito said.
You can have West flavor or East flavor.
So here's what I think, guys, is that all of a sudden Bobby opens his mailbox one day and he goes, I got some mail from a man named General Ahmed. It's addressed to this man named General Ahmed. Dad, do you know anything about this? And he goes, no, son. Maybe you should bring it back to the post office or tell the postman. He goes, nah, I think I'm going to open it. And he opens it and he finds an invitation. And, well, it's an invitation to a pool party. And Bobby drives all the way across town with DeVito. And he shows up at the pool party and he realizes, I don't think this is a party we should go to. And they kind of just turn around and go back to Malibu.
I like that.
I do really think, Bobby, that you uncovered something incredibly important, though, is that we finally found out who DeVito owed that money to.
Man, I love that as this show progresses, we're slowly just peeling away layers. We're unlocking another part of this mystery.
Don't you remember that scene in Black Gestapo where Vincent yelled at everybody, says, and how's our business down in that car wash? So, guys, Tanner, where can everybody find you?
You can find me. You can find me on my website, bymichaeltanner.com. And if you'll be in the Denver area at the end of May, beginning of June, I'll be there for Denver Pop Culture Con. Come by and say hi.
Now, what is entailed by a pop culture con?
Oh, that's I'm gonna watch what I say on this one. That's a lot of conventions don't just like to pigeonhole themselves as comic book conventions anymore, because they like to spend a lot of their convention budget on flying out celebrities who charge hundreds of dollars for autograph and have people stand in line to meet them. So it's a pop culture con.
Well, you know what?
All right.
I think, to be honest, Tanner, I think it's more honest.
Yeah.
Because as we know, Comic-Con has nothing to do with comics anymore.
Yeah, there's plenty of comics at Comic-Con, man.
Well, there's plenty of comics, but there's also lots of TV and video games and Pop Culture Con. Denver's got it right.
Not that he's going to be at Denver Pop Culture Con, but Lou Ferrigno charges like $100 for autograph nowadays. Lou Ferrigno. Yeah.
Does he?
A friend of mine brought him a VHS.
From him.
Oh, that's very lucky for you. A friend of mine brought a VHS copy of The Trial of the Incredible Hulk to a convention to have him sign. $100.
Wait, The Trial of Incredible Hulk?
Yeah.
Is this like
it
the
was
Nuremberg
a TV movie
trials?
where they introduced
it was one of the TV movies they made after the series ended.
The Nuremberg trials. Good lord.
More like the Nerdenberg trials, am I right?
Holy shit. There we go.
You don't remember the Green Gestapo?
I just like this idea of like them sitting the Hulk down afterwards and be like, okay, we're going to go over the footage of what we see here. Explain yourself. He's like, well, Your Honor, we can't make him too angry. So you got to calm the comments down. Mr. Banner, we don't want him getting angry in court. So anyways, you can find us at grindhousefilm.com. We're Twitter at GrindPod. Facebook, The Grindbin Podcast. We're on Instagram as well. And Bobby, people can join our Patreon for $2 a month and hear all our mini bins.
Oh man, the mini bins have been fire as of late. What are the last couple things we covered? We had the return of Evil Knievel, only on the mini bin.
That's true. In the beginning of March, and this episode's probably airing in April, so that's topical.
Something to look forward to.
But you know what you can always hear is our ongoing mini bin. At least one a month, we're doing a Freddy's Nightmares episode where Bobby gets to nerd out and make me watch a Freddy's Nightmare episode.
Yeah, it's really fun dragging you down that street.
Well, it was
dragging you down Elm Street.
It was fun hearing you and our guest Shane talk about how you had went outside Mr. England's house.
Yeah, that was fun. You should hear all about that on the mini bin.
Yeah. Oh, and Tanner, one last question about Denver City Pop Culture Con. Will Rocco from Demon Cop be there? Will he be signing autographs?
Yeah, but kind of in the parking garage on one of the lower levels.
Is he going to say, you motherfuckers are the cause of my suffering?
You motherfuckers are the cause of my suffering!
Oh, that would just scare the stew out
Rocco,
of me.
in the parking lot. We told you, how many times have we told you to bring that shit out
There's
of there?
been other parking lots!
Do you think he's going to dress up in the makeup, the demon?
Yeah, but it's like latex, so it started to like break down in the years since, so it's going to just look kind of sad and even scarier.
Because Bob Denver's son is busy, man.
Yeah. Oh, I have something to plug as well.
Oh my God! Yes, go ahead.
Before I forget, at this point, I think they will all have been out. But I will, at this point, having heard this, listeners, I will have made multiple appearances on our cousin podcast, the Compañeros.
Oh, wonderful! What are you talking about on that podcast?
Well, I have covered multiple episodes of Songs on Trial, where we decide which music deserves to go to music jail. And then I've also covered The Force Within, which is an early 90s movie where a martial artist discovers real power by not having an orgasm.
Oh.
So if you like what we do here, follow me over there, as I've sat in with our friends, the Compañeros.
Great. I'm definitely going to listen to that. Looking forward to it. You've said that
you
movie,
can find
by
their
the
show
way.
everywhere you find ours.
And you said that movie, by the way, is fantastic, so I got to check that out.
It really is.
I have a slightly embarrassing anecdote that reminded me of that movie. I'll be sure to tell you guys sometime.
Oh, well, I guess we'll have to wait for next time, huh?
Yeah, I'll tell you now if you want. So I was on a date. This was a very long time ago. I was on a date with a woman, and we went to the Moon Festival in Chinatown here in Los Angeles, which is kind of like a street fair, and there's lots of vendors. And we went to a kind of a Chinese herbalist kind of booth where they would kind of do a health evaluation of you. And so they sat us down, kind of not together, but only a few feet apart, with an individual practitioner who kind of like asked us questions about our diet and our lifestyle and whatnot, and spent a lot of time kind of like looking like deep into your eyes, like just kind of like making direct eye contact and like feeling your pulse and whatnot. And so I answered the guy's questions. He's like, well, okay, first of all, my advice for you is you need to stop ejaculating so much.
Wow.
So I want you to watch this movie?
Because, yeah, like at the moment, I was on a date,
Hey, can you knock it off? That's my advice to you.
Well, Tanner, who goes into some guy's office and starts ejaculating
Listen,
everywhere?
I was on a date!
To be fair, Mike, you haven't seen that office.
Tanner,
my God.
I'm not sure I want to visit you on one of these cons.
It was very weird, because I was like, it was literally like a second date with this girl, so it wasn't even like anything had been established. It was very awkward and weird.
Oh,
was there a third?
I don't honestly remember. I actually don't even remember the person's name, so I don't know.
Oh, wow.
So it went well.
Well, let's just say I didn't heed his advice.
Man, so on that note,
Bobby, start the People's Army.
Bobby, I got the money.
Dad, I made the tea!